Hello, my name is Jessica, and I'm on today to play the Higher Heart Crystal Singing Bowl, to do a general reading with the Numerology deck, and then read straight from the Isis Oracle deck. So today's what I like to call Divine Feminine Friday, where I celebrate the Divine Feminine energy within me. And I invite you to do the same, because no matter what your gender is, we all have the Divine Feminine essence within us. And it's linking to our intuition, our dreams, our emotions, our surrender, our flow. So it's really beautiful. It's a great time with all this space to tap into that divine feminine energy within us. Get into that deep receptive mode, just totally being. So with that, I invite you to take a nice deep cleansing breath. And we're going to bring our palms together to our heart. Monkey, what you doing? Sorry for the noise, my kitty's playing. So as we tap into our heart, just allow ourselves to feel that pulse. And if we want to close our eyes to allow ourselves to go deeper, that's okay. Whatever feels good. So just spend some time breathing and just feeling that heartbeat. So a little energy work I like to do is kind of giving messages to my heart and then seeing that message travel along my circulatory system throughout my entire being. And also remembering that water holds memory. So anytime that we drink water, we can put our prayers into it. So I like to do that, kind of send the message to my heart, and then my heart sends it throughout. So you can either stay holding your hands to your heart or however you'd like, but I'm going to start to play the Higher Heart Crystal Singing Bowl. So just allow yourself to get into that receptive mode and just receive and have the experience that you need, okay? I like to chant when I play the singing bowls. It's a way for me to tone or sync up with the frequencies that I'm putting off. So I invite you, if you want to chant, you can either chant Om, you can chant Home, whatever feels good to you, but you're welcome to join in any way. Taking another deep cleansing breath. Giving some messages to our heart. When you're ready, bring your hands into prayer. Let's just bring them up. And fountain. So I'm going to do a little general reading from the Numerology deck. This one is by Michelle Buchanan. I'm saying that right. So we'll just see what wants to come out and kind of lead me to what I'm going to talk about. Adventure. And 55 too, so lots of change. Time out, 37 equals up to a 10 or 1. And intuition, 22. So how I'm seeing it, because the adventure is more in where we were, I'm feeling this is like the adventure of our life, like the adventure of our life's journey so far, and all the adventures we've took to get us to where we're at now. And we're asked to be taking a time out from everything. And I think this is leading us to greater intuition. So we're able to look at our adventure and our life's journey so far, and all that we've accomplished, all that we wish to accomplish, and just everything that we've learned so far, that we've discovered about ourselves, about the universe, about how we react and how we interact with one another. And so I do feel like a great big change happening within everyone, within how we live our lives on our everyday basis. So the color of this card too is the color of the higher heart, which is the one I just played too. And for anyone, I ask you, if you want to, if you're invited to adventure more into the higher heart chakra, into the thymus, and exploring that. So time out, and this card here is violet or purple, so that represents the crown, spirituality to me. And it also has the Merkaba in the center of it is like a golden yellow. So this time, I feel like, has been such a time of golden healing within our spirituality. And even if you're not spiritual, you can think of it as the universe. So you're kind of in this space where you're asked to really look at everything. And because it's a 1 added up, well, 10, I see 10 as like a completion. So we get to that 10 and we stop and we kind of look at everything and we examine everything before we go and we start our number 1 and we start that new beginning. So having that right there in our present space, I think, is really beautiful. It's a time to pause, and it doesn't have to be like a time out, like you've been bad. You know, a lot of people are kind of feeling that, and that's something I ask people to look at if they feel like they've done something bad and they're asked to stay in their room, like, you know, it's that parental thing. So taking this as a time for time out to reevaluate your life's journey, receive that golden healing, and feel the universe all around you, within you. And I think that's what's really important about this time out, is we're asked to go within. We're asked to look at the universe within us, not just outside of us, and look at everything that's going around, but what's going on within us. And I think that's the biggest lesson from this time out for all of us, was to go within and get into our intuitive. So our intuition is kind of also like almost like an inner knowing. It's that how we just know things without knowing. We're guided to do things without knowing why. Just that inner intuition that leads us, that guides us. And that card is like an orange, like our sacral, so our creativity as well. sexuality, our creativity, our emotions. And I think with the number 22 in regards to like relationships, it has to do with our relationship to ourselves and those closest to us. So when we're in this timeout, what else are we left to do other than go within our own mind, our own self, and to interact with the people who are closest to us, who may live with us? And I think that we're reaching a heightened state of intuition globally as well, not just individually. I think that's a lot more clear. I think the interconnection of all beings is a lot more clear. And people resonate with different things, but I'll speak my own language here for a bit. So when we're into that, for me, that third dimension, just that physical, that's it. And then we get to that fourth dimension of that interconnection in the heart and the love of all things. And so you may have heard already about the shift from 3D, 4D, 5D. And that doesn't mean the world's going to fall apart. Like there's going to be no more Earth. Like I think people get a little confused by that term or the shifting or separating. It doesn't mean that we're just all going to be gone or things like that. It's been like this for a while in which we're multidimensionally living. Some people are only have their consciousness in the 3D, but that does not mean they're not multidimensional beings. They are, and there are pieces of them, parts of them that are in those higher dimensions. And I believe truly that all of us are always connected to the divine, whether we're conscious of it or not. It's consciousness itself. So for me, through this shift, and what I'm experiencing personally is seeing more people in the fourth dimension, in that understanding of like the astral realms and creating with our thoughts and our mind and our emotions. So that leads to greater intuition. It leads us to that inner guidance, that wisdom, that deep wisdom within us. As we can turn to all these different places, but really what's going to help us reach our true self, our authentic self, is our inner guidance. Our soul knows the way. So I'm very excited. That's why I'm so excited about everything. And it is very sad what's happening. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm so happy and in my love space that I am just oblivious to all the pain and suffering that's happening. That is not true at all. I cry a lot and I feel very deeply. And for me, I've had to learn to master those emotions and master my empathy and my sympathy to feel others, or else I'll get very drained. I get very hardly depressed and want to die because I feel things so deeply. So for me, if I've had to learn to practice emotional mastery and shielding in the sense that I'm aware of my own energy versus the collective suffering and the collective thing that's going on, because picking up all of that is not going to serve me. For me to be in a higher vibration and help serve those around me with love is by raising myself up and coming into that space of love and compassion for all beings. I'm not ignoring or saying this isn't real, or this is all just an illusion or anything like that. I love to be in that middle way, the middle way of matter and spirit, and finding that middle ground. So I hope that makes sense to you. It makes sense to me. And I'm here to speak my truth. But yeah, just seeing everyone now kind of coming into greater intuition, to a greater sense of self and life and meaning and purpose in their life, even if it's just the simple things. So I love that. And I'm going to leave that at that. And then I'm going to read right from the Isis deck. So this one is Alana Fairchild. She's one of my favorites. You'll probably see me reading her stuff a lot. I really resonate with her. So yeah. So let's see what wants to come out for us today. Oh. Serpent of Fire, Priestess of the Serpent Sisterhood. So I'm going to go ahead and read that one. Isis, Priestess of the Serpent Sisterhood and Queen of the Serpent of Fire, guides you through transformation now as your energy field grows stronger and old energies are burned away in the process of your growth. Trust that you are growing and are more capable than you have been previously. Do not access your current ability based on past standards, as they no longer apply to you. You are stronger and more powerful now than you have ever been before. You need to learn afresh what you are capable of, and Isis helps you now. The serpent head piece of Isis represents the inner fire serpent of Kundalini as it rises in accordance with spiritual growth and empowerment. This happens when the time is right and we are ready. It is important to realize that as your inner energy and power is growing now, you will need to get used to new levels of strength. This means that you will need to adjust your sense of your own abilities to meet your new levels of energetic empowerment. You will need to realize you are capable of more than you previously were, and also you may need to temper your behavior to take account the greater power and effect of your words, thoughts, and actions. I'm listening. When you go stronger, your words, thoughts, actions, and intentions gather potency more so than ever before. Your responsibility for what you put out into the world grows too. In the same way that a drop of water causes less movement than a tsunami, your emotions and words will have a bigger effect because the energy behind them, your serpent of fire, is awakening. Isis can help you manage this process so that what you put out into the world comes from a place of wisdom and love, service and compassion, healing and awareness. One of the first lessons this card offers you is the recognition of your power. It is perilous to underestimate your spiritual power, as you can unintentionally create harm by not realizing that your actions and words have an effect on the world around you. And the effect of those actions and words come back to you multiplied as karmic return. Serpent of Fire calls you to become aware of your power by having an open and curious awareness and noticing with detachment and clear perception the signs of confirmation that you do have an effect upon your surroundings. You can then manage your power with greater wisdom. Your mind has a lot of power, and sending negative or vengeful thoughts towards another, even if just in a rash moment of anger, can be harmful to some. If you catch yourself doing this, it is extremely wise to go into your heart and apologize to them and send them love, even if it's just someone walking down the street or driving a car, and the entire process happens in only a matter of seconds. The second lesson of the Oracle of the Serpent of Fire is to trust in the process of the inner fire and what is being burned away. Just as the serpent sheds its skin to reveal itself anew, there are changes happening inside of you. And some old identities, beliefs about yourself and others, old habits or patterns of behavior that will not survive the growth into the new expression of you. Whilst you will likely to be happy to let these go, there can be uncertainty and a sense of not knowing who you are anymore as you transition between the old and new expressions of yourself. This is a sign that you are growing in a profound way, and rather than something to be avoided, it can be embraced as confirmation of this growth. Lady Isis, priestess of the Serpent Sisterhood, understands that in the growth of spiritual power, old forms are burned away to allow for new life to emerge. It is safe to trust that any endings or discomfort as the familiar begins to make way for the unfamiliar in your life now are your signs of your growth and are to be celebrated. So if you'd like, you can pause at any time and just take all those messages in, but I'm just going to keep going with what that brought up for me. So as I was saying earlier, how I feel like so many shifts going on within dimensions. Again, this is not a place, it is a consciousness. So when I speak of the fourth dimension, I speak of a loving consciousness, knowing that we're all connected. And the fifth dimension is more of like understanding that we create. And so using our loving power to create. So for example, I want to create health and healing and well-being for all beings. So the other day, I was listening to Satnam Kuhar. I may be saying that wrong, I apologize. We were doing chanting and meditation, and we were holding space for all the souls that have recently passed and all the families, everyone going through hardship. And like I said earlier, I felt that so deeply, and I felt so much sorrow, and I very much felt so much. And my Ganesh bowl, wherever she may be, it's a little bowl, ran into one of my crystal bowls here and cracked the bowl. And it was a very powerful, a very just transmuted. And there was a lightness and a stillness in the air. And it was just this deep honoring of all the souls that transition. And I could feel that so deeply. And I know right now not a lot of people are able to bury their loved ones and put things to rest. And a lot of us are experiencing deaths, not only physical deaths of family members or people around us, but deaths of our identities, just like this card said. And so on Earth Day, I finished my walking garden. I was very excited about that. And I knew that I was going to bury this bowl into the earth. And I also knew that I would be burying a lot more than just this physical bowl. And so I did a very beautiful ceremony. And I also felt like I was holding space for everyone who has yet to been able to bury what has passed. So it was very powerful for me, and I wrote my intentions, also the new moon. So I wrote my intentions of what I want to create within the new earth and in my life. And I wrote pretty much what that said about burning away the old, like letting go of the old and bringing away from the new. So I just want to hold everyone in love and compassion for this time right now. And for those who are having a hard time returning to a space of love, I am here, and I'm going to remind you that it's okay, that you are still loved even when you don't feel it. You are loved. And so within my being, I awaken all of myself, all of my cells. I awaken the love within me, so that may emanate and beam to every being on the planet right now. So I invite you now, as we hold space for ourselves and the collective, to just think of what we would wish to create. Whether that's health, well-being for all, sustainable living, natural resources, free energy, community, truth, honesty, justice. Whatever it is for you, just hold that in your heart. When you're ready, just take your hands and then just place them on the ground beneath you, and we'll just kind of direct that energy into the earth. You can visualize the crystal core, sending it there, wherever it wants to look for you. See yourself planting these seeds of intentions, while placing the love and light where it needs to go. Embracing all those that the light needs to embrace at this time. Holding everyone in love and grace. Thank you for showing up today, for tuning in with me, holding space for healing for yourself and others. The light in me honors and recognizes the light within you. Namaste.